At 6 in the morning, Zia came to see Riley first. She reported. Brian asked me to help check on his. Zia's words were cut off because Riley resumed. Claire? He asked you to check on Claire? Riley frowned, thinking about how Brian blamed her last night. He wouldn't even listen to her. Then she softly replied. You should help in any way. I hate him, and I hate that innocent-looking lover of his even more, but it doesn't mean an unborn child should be deprived of the best medical help. I know you are one of the best new doctors right now, Zia, Riley said. So you should. At least he would get off my back, I hope. Riley saw Zia's complicated expression. Zia sighed and replied. You really are a good person, Riley. My cousin doesn't deserve you. Zia took a few steps back and said, I better go. Zia? Riley asked. Looking down, Riley paused and pondered. Then she decided. I don't want to have anything to do with Brian anymore. I don't think you need to tell him about the miscarriage. He doesn't care. The thought of her husband's words the other night brought tears to Riley's eyes. They wanted me to leave the family without troubling Claire and Brian, so I will. Are you sure, Riley? Zia asked. Riley nodded. She said, I don't want Brian to come looking back for me, be confused or feel guilty. I want him out of my life, so I also don't want him to know that I had a miscarriage. Maybe in the future, I will tell him. I don't know, Riley muttered. For now, I don't want to be bothered by him and his family anymore. Zia's reluctantly replied. Okay. I understand. I'll try to hold back. It's nice to meet you, Dr. Zia, Claire Monet greeted. She had such doe eyes. Anyone would think she was blameless. Zia stood before Claire in a hospital room at Halliport's General Hospital, and she could not help but think. She is so young, a child. Brian has become a sugar daddy. Hello, Claire. I'm here to check on you, Zia responded. Before a resident doctor, Brian and Beatrice Martin, Zia reviewed Claire's medical chart. After half an hour, she gave her instructions. I will prescribe dydrogesterone and progesterone gels, together with her prenatal vitamins, to thicken the lining of her uterus. It will keep the baby safe. She must be on complete bed rest for 1 month in the hospital with a 24-hour nurse to watch over her, and she will need regular ultrasounds to monitor the baby and the condition of her uterus. Is that necessary? Claire weakly asked. I want to go home. You want the baby to live, right? Zia asked Claire. Claire nodded shyly and said, Yes, of course. Then do everything I say, Zia responded. The truth was that Zia thought the baby was out of danger. However, Adrian King's instructions were clear. This child in Claire's womb must live. Thus, she might have exaggerated her doctor's orders. Also, noticing how emotionally distraught the girl was over the false trauma she had created, Zia turned to Brian. She suggested, Brian, you must be with her to support her emotionally. If this baby is important, you must give your time. She is not allowed to feel depressed or sad. My son will make time, Beatrice said. She looked at Brian and confirmed, Right, son? Zia faked a smile, saying, I will coordinate Claire's progress with the resident. Make sure to eat healthy, Claire, Zia addressed Brian's mistress before reminding her cousin. Make sure she gets all the nutrition she needs. I will. Thank you, Zia, for coming to see Claire, Brian said. Zia exited the room with the resident doctor when Brian chased after her. He said, Zia, thank you very much. I didn't want to, Brian, but Zia paused. She suddenly remembered what Riley had told her about keeping the miscarriage from Brian. She sighed angrily and said, I don't get you, Brian. Why are you replacing Riley with this child? You've been married to her for 4 years and have known her since college. Is it because she's young? Is it the sex? Claire hasn't even finished college, while Riley is an accomplished jewelry designer. How can you choose beef cubes when you have a steak at home? Stop it, Brian said angrily. Be careful what you say. Claire has more potential than you think. She just didn't have the same opportunities as Riley. Claire is innocent, Brian insisted. She didn't want to be part of this, but she got pregnant. She needs my support, so I have to take responsibility. Moreover, Riley couldn't give me a child, so stop questioning me and just support me. You don't know what you... Zia stopped herself, recalling her promise to Riley. Was there a point in telling Brian that he had just killed his son? I swear to God, Brian, you will regret. Mr. Martin? Zia was this close to telling Brian the truth about Riley's miscarriage, but someone interrupted their heated exchange. A resident doctor approached Brian and reported, Mr. Martin, Miss Allen is awake. What should I tell her? Brian froze. He gulped and answered, You need to call Riley. Renee is awake? Beatrice Martin stepped out of the room, having heard the conversation. Finally, we have spent too much money on her. Zia did not get to speak to Brian anymore because her aunt Beatrice had pulled Brian aside, and they debated on something clearly important. Whatever it was they were talking about, Zia saw a hint of malice in her aunt's eyes. Miss Allen? Renee Allen. Zia's recollection dawned as she remembered that this was Riley's mother. Renee Allen had been involved in a car accident 5 months prior, and had remained in a coma ever since. This was why Riley had been preoccupied. Maybe she was too busy visiting her mother and attending to Miss Allen's needs, and Riley didn't notice signs of Brian's betrayal. At the King's Medical Center, Riley ate her hospital food with no enthusiasm. She had coleslaw and beefsteak. Although the food looked enticing, it seemed so bland to her. Her heart was still aching from everything that was happening in her life. Riley's phone rang suddenly. She picked it up, and upon seeing the name she panicked. It was her mother's doctor. Hello, Dr. Wilson? How is my mom? Riley asked on the phone. Mrs. Martin, your mother woke up from her coma earlier today. She has been asking for you. You must see her. Her recovery depends on it. Please, Mrs. Martin, this is important, the doctor said. Riley immediately cried upon hearing the news. Her marriage may have failed, but at least her mom was now awake. She replied, Thank you. Thank you. That's good news. Thank you for calling me Dr. Wilson. You are welcome, Mrs. Martin. There is just one problem, though, the doctor revealed. What is it? Riley asked, still sobbing. Your mother needs a refill on her medications, but your husband, Mr. Martin? He has not paid for your mother's medical fees for 3 months now, and he said that he won't. He said he wants to talk to you first, the doctor resumed, shocking Riley. Riley's lips trembled upon hearing this. She thought, Brian had not paid for 3 months? How could Brian do this? Mrs. Martin? The doctor repeated. How come you never told me this, doctor? Riley asked. Mr. Martin always promised to pay and specifically instructed not to tell you. Except until today when I met him, the doctor replied. Riley felt her heart constricting again. What in the world was Brian doing with the money allocated for her mother's hospital fees? She and Brian had a company together. Well, technically it was his money, but Riley co-managed the business. Together, they created Bray Jewelry and Apparel Company. Brian was the CEO, while Riley was the design director. Brian had given her shares of the company, and as a couple, they had agreed to pay the hospital with Riley's profit shares. So, where had the money gone? Her heart pounded violently as she replied, Doctor, let me call Brian first because he should have made those payments. Okay, Mrs. Martin. I'll wait for your feedback. More than anything, your mother needs you for her own healing, the doctor on the other line suggested. Riley nodded. She responded, I understand. I'll be there. After ending the call, Riley contacted her husband, Brian. When he answered, Riley curtly asked, Why didn't you pay my mom's hospital bill? I was going to pay, but I got occupied, Brian replied. I will pay it right away as long as you sign the divorce papers today. Our lawyers are bringing the documents to me. Where are you?